Welcome, students. This is the lesson for Friday, March 21st. We decided to do new notes, so we want you to throw away the handout and grab your own notebook paper. You're going to take these on your own notebook paper. You will not need that paper that we gave you in class the other day. We've decided to revisit the idea of factoring. Factoring, we took ax squared plus bx plus c, and we factored that into a box method problem. We did that by setting up the x. We would do a times c, and that would be our top number. And then we would do b would be our bottom number. And when we would figure out what would multiply to be ac and add to be b, and so we looked for our factors here. Well, we're going to do a couple problems to go through and kind of jog your memory on how to do this. Alright, the first problem we're going to do is 2n squared plus 3n minus 9. So we set up our x. We do 2 times 9. Negative 9 is negative 18. And we're trying to get 3. So we're trying to think of factors that multiply to be negative 18 and add to be 3. Okay, so if we start thinking about the factors of 18, we have 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. Okay. One of them's got to be negative to get that, but to get a positive 3, we need the little numbers to be negative, so that would be these. That equals negative 17, so that's not it. That equals negative 7, so that's not it. Oops, sorry, that was positive 7 and positive 17. This equals positive 3, so this is correct. Negative 3 and 6. Okay. We put x beside both of those. Actually, we put n because these are n's, and we're going to split the term. So this becomes 2n squared. 3n gets split up to be negative 3n plus 6n, and we bring down the negative 9. Then we group. What do 2n and n squared and negative 3n have in common? The answer is an n, so we divide out an n on both of them. N goes into n squared and leaves us with n, so that's 2n. N's cancel. 2n minus 3. Over here we look at 6n and negative 9. 6 and negative 9 have a positive 3 in common, so we bring out a positive 3. And if you remember what we've done, what's going to end up in the parentheses is what was in the other one. 3 goes into 6 2 times, so that's 2n. 3 goes into 9 3 times, minus 3. So 2n minus 3 is part of the answer. And then n plus 3 is the other part of the answer. 3n squared minus 8n plus 4. Multiply 3 times 4 to get 12. And then we're going to add to get negative 8. So the factors of 12 are 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Since it's we're going to get to a negative, we're going to switch all these to negatives. So this would be negative 13. That's not right. This would be negative 8. That is right. This would be negative 6. That's not right. So this is negative 2 and negative 6. Put n's beside them, because we're going to split the term. So 3n squared goes first. This gets split up between negative 2n and negative 6n, and we bring down the plus 4. That's our 4 terms that we end up with. We group. 3n squared and 2n have an n in common, so we pull the n out front and we divide by n. N goes into n squared and leaves you with n, so we have 3n. N's cancel. 3n minus 2. Here, negative 6 and 4 have just a 2 in common, but since this is negative, we've got to pull out a negative 2. So I'm going to divide them both by negative 2. Negative 2 goes into there and leaves us with 3, which is what we're looking for. N. Negative 2 goes into 4 and leaves us with negative 2, which is what we're looking for. 3n minus 2, 3n minus 2. So that's the first part. And then n minus 2 is the second part. This one we're going to do has a little bit something different in it. We look at 15n squared minus 27n minus 6. Before we can get started by multiplying 15 times 6, I notice that each one of these has a GCF. It has a common term. So 15, 27, and 6. 6 won't go into all of them, but 3 will go into all of them. So I'm going to pull the 3 out first. If you don't pull the 3 out first on this, you will end up missing the problem. 3 goes into 15 5 times. So that's 5n squared. 3 goes into 27 9 times, so that's negative 9n. 3 goes into 6 2 times, so that's negative 2. Then we'll end up factoring this, and whatever we get down here in our parentheses, this 3 will carry all the way down there. So we're going to do this inside stuff just like we normally do. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10, and we're trying to make a negative 9. So the factors of 10 are 1 and 10, and 2 and 5. One of them's got to be negative. Since our number is negative, we're going to put the bigger number negative. That equals negative 9. That equals negative 3. So we split this. That's 1x and negative 10x. So this gets brought down. 5n squared. I keep doing that. Those are n's. We're going to split this. 1n minus 10n minus 2. And we'll group. 5n squared and 1n have an n in common, so we divide both by n. N cancels into n squared and leaves you with an n, so that's 5n. Here, 10 and 2 have a 2 in common, but since that's negative, oh, I did forget this part. N cancels into that and leaves you with plus 1. Here, what I was saying is they have a 2 in common, so since that's a negative, you pull out a negative 2, and you're going to divide both sides by negative 2. Negative 2 goes into negative 10 5 times, so that's 5n. Negative 2 goes into negative 1, positive 1. This goes in the first parentheses, 5n plus 1. This goes in the second parentheses. And so it's one extra thing to remember, but if it has a GCF, if the numbers have anything in common, you got to pull that out before you start this method, or it will cause you to miss it.